community. And our community was an urban slum. We had a lot of difficulty in making, the inmates of this community even to listen to our community radio, because as I told you, they had a lot of other attractions, the other electronic media gadgets like the television and the commercial FM stations. So it was a marathon task, and we used what was called as, a three-pronged approach. So initially what we did was, we conducted a nutrition and a health screening of the community in order to identify their specific nutrition and health problems. Then we tried to identify the underlying cause of these problems, and finally we undertook specific actions through our community radio programs and also through on-field activities as an intervention. We also developed a model, and we called it as the Community Nutrition Education Model. This again was implemented in 3 phases. We had the input, we had the output, and finally was the assessment impact. So during the nutrition and health screening, we assessed the nutritional status of the community. We had about 263 women, we had 150 men, and about 303 children. We found that malnutrition, both obesity as well as undernutrition, was rampant. Anemia, both all in women, children, and even men. Diabetes mellitus, both in men and women. Skin problems in all the 3. Vitamin deficiencies, worm infestations, especially in case of children. And we found that poor hygiene and sanitation practices were adopted by all. So we felt that this community nutrition education model, we hope that through this model, we will be able to help the community to improve their nutritional knowledge, bring about a behavioral change relating to nutrition and health, and also to increase the community participation in health and nutrition programs. So we gave a lot of inputs, as I told you, both through the community radio as well as through our on-field activities. We used a lot of formats both through the radio and our field activities. We had open discussion forums, we had talk by experts, we had the weekly quizzes, we had the live phone-ins, we used the folk forms for dissemination of knowledge, and we saw to it that there was a weekly interaction, a face-to-face interaction with the community, firstly to establish the rapport and also to sustain the rapport, and also to see that there was an assured listenership in order to complete our target. And we found that the output, we could classify it into 3. The short-term output, the medium-term output, and the long-term output. Short-term output, in about 6 months of assessment, we were able to see some kind of an attitudinal change when it came to food choices and food buying behaviors and so on. And we also found that they had developed skills in food selection, and they had developed skills in healthy preparation of foods, and there was also an improved awareness of the knowledge of physical activity, its benefits, and increased knowledge of sanitation and hygiene. This is what we achieved in about a short term. And during our medium term assessment, we found that there were improved attitudes towards healthy eating itself. It was not just limited to food choices and buying behaviors, but healthy eating underwent a lot of change. There was a lot of adoption of healthy food practices amongst the families, and the adoption of recommended diet-related problems in disease prevention was also seen, and participation in regular physical activity, family and individual participation in all the community events that was being conducted as a part of the community radio, and improved sanitary practices. Then the long-term assessment was done close to 2 years, though the project was only 1 year. We continued with the project because we wanted to use it as a research model. And we found that at the close of 2 years, we found that there were a decreased risk factors for nutrition and health-related problems and chronic diseases, decreased incidence of complications for chronic diseases, and healthy productive life. So when we finally assessed the impact, we were able to bring it down to a few points. We found that the use of coarse grains, which are otherwise healthy but which have gone out of the kitchen, especially in the urban scenario in India, has slowly started getting back into the kitchens. And they started preparation and use of homemade weaning foods. This was another malady which we saw as far as these urban slums were concerned. They wanted to go in only for these commercial weaning foods, which again combined with poor sanitary practices would lead to the further going down the malnutrition cycle. So we were able to bring about this kind of an intervention where we insisted on their preparation, and they also adopted this preparation of homemade weaning foods and exclusive breastfeeding till 6 months, and slow introduction of weaning foods, again prepared in a hygienic manner, and inclusion of locally available foods, especially, these urban slums, especially in Chennai, you find a lot of drumstick trees. So we taught them how to make use of these leaves in a part of their homemade recipes, and preparation of healthy snacks and avoiding deep fried snacks, commercial snacks which are available, and implementing simple and basic hygienic practices, keeping the home and environment clean, and practicing simple ergonomic exercises, because we found that many of them worked as maids. So they required a lot of intervention as far as this was concerned. And we were also able to develop a lot of local voices on nutrition and health. So this is about the intervention, the CRS the community nutrition model that we had implemented through our community nutrition, through our radio, and this was the, the abstract of our study. Thank you so much.